that can be talked about. Hell, we've been on the phone, we've been on the show for 15 minutes, and we talked a lot. So imagine what a 5-minute conversation behind a closed door. No telling what they spoke about or what they spoke on, but then you come out and it's like, oh, everything's okay. Nah, Jack, we can't trust you. You know what I mean? You already put yourself, and this is how stupid he is. You won the election, and then you put it out there that Russia had something to do with the election. Y'all just got duped by a dummy, man.
Totally.
How do you say, oh, Clinton this, Clinton that. Hell, she lost. She won the popular vote. She lost the electoral vote. You became president, and you still put it out there. That's like us committing a crime. We get away with it, and then one day I say, you know what? Me and Mark did this, and this, and we got this amount of money, and we spent it all. And you sit there like, what's wrong with you, you idiot? You know what I mean? Like, fool, shut up.
That is so true, and the teachers are not happy. We've actually got a teacher strike going on in Los Angeles. I'm sure there'll be other teacher strikes around the country because, the teachers are not being paid. It's one of the most jobs that does not get the respect that it should get, and some of these teachers are like, look, we're not putting up with it. So I know in California there's a major teacher strike going on, so it'll be interesting to see how much this spreads around to other teachers around the country and everything. But definitely the ones in California are like, wait a minute, we're doing all this work, we're doing the work of educating your youth, and you're not paying us nearly enough or giving us the kinds of benefits and also the kinds of support that we need.
But you want a punk-ass wall. That money right there could be used to give to those educators, and salute to all the educators nationwide and internationally who don't get their just due, who are tasked with teaching our youth, and demands are placed on them not only by the government, the state government, the local government, parents who don't want to teach their own children, and yet and still you wake up every day and you go in to mold minds and try to get them to realize that they can do whatever they want to do if they apply themselves to it for little to nothing. You want to spend $5.7 billion, give it to the educator, and we won't have a problem. You will hear no argument from me. To hell with that wall to keep somebody out.
Exactly, and we probably need some more great minds to come in here, and there are some great minds in some of those countries that he's trying to keep out. He also gives insulting comments to people, so we just got to find ways to have him be more real about what he's talking about, because a lot of times his conversation is very nonsensical.
Right, and for years, and they've done this even before Trump, you'll have individuals who are doctors and lawyers in their home country, and they come here, they're told that their credentials are not valid. So you find them driving cabs, doing menial jobs to pay for whatever they need to take care of. They send money back home, and then if you talk to them, you say, well, I was a lawyer in my country. And you look and you say, well, but you're driving a cab. Yeah, because they told me that my law degree means nothing here, that I would have to go to their schools and pass their bar. And it's a whole bunch of, you got doctors, people who are medically trained that cannot practice because some weird law says if you were a doctor there, we're not going to honor that. We won't even acknowledge it until you go through the process to become a doctor here. It's almost like saying start all over and we'll give you your just due instead of giving it to them to begin with. It's a whole lot of things that, should be done differently, but pride and stupidity have them going another way. And hopefully we'll get somebody to run for that office that will not be all in their feelings, that are not doing it for personal gain, that do not want the accolades. They want to do it because it's the right doggone thing to do. Don't switch up on me at the last minute, because if I'm interested in what you have to say, and you're talking about doing certain things for 21 days, and then on day 22 you said, oh well, you need to vote for this person because that's the best candidate. So why the hell are you running if somebody else is the best candidate? Sit your ass down and let them do what they do.
Exactly. And speaking of surprising news and everything, UNC Chapel Hill, the chancellor decided in a surprise announcement earlier today that she's going to resign after graduation this coming spring. But she also, in that same announcement, ordered the removal of the pedestal that held the Silent Sam Confederate monument. He said, as chancellor, the safety of the UNC Chapel Hill community is my clear, unequivocal, and non-negotiable responsibility. She wrote, the presence of the remaining parts of the monument on campus poses a continuing threat both to the personal safety and well-being of our community and our ability to provide a stable, productive educational environment. No one learns at their best when they feel unsafe. Her statement came during an emergency conference call meeting of the UNC Board of Governors to discuss personnel and legal matters. The board meeting was still underway when Fult's message went out. She has led the Chapel Hill campus since July of 2013, but there was no indication she was planning to leave. So apparently she decided to leave, but she also decided that she was going to do something that a lot of folks had been wanting her to do for some time now before she left. So she's left with a definite message for the folks on the campus that she was going to do this action. There's still folks that are trying to figure out what to do with the various monuments that have come down in different places.
Yeah, because during that time of their self-promotion, that's when they named all of those schools and put all of those monuments up. And now all of that stuff is starting to come down. I'll tell you what you do. You find some land out in the sticks somewhere, you put all that shit up, and you can have a little museum for anybody who wants to go down there and see those raggedy statues. And it is what it is. Or you can just grind them up and use the the stuff you made the monuments with. You can use it for something else. But it should have come down. Nobody wants to see all of that. Yeah, it's history, but it's only one side of history. Everybody's not celebrating this individual right here or this individual here. I don't care about J.E.B. Stewart. I don't care about Stonewall Jackson. I don't give a damn about Nathan Bedford. But, they like, oh, that's our history. Okay, so what? You teach it to us in school and force it down our throats anyway. You start with Christopher Columbus. He found absolutely nothing, but he has a holiday. You know what I mean? So why should I give a damn? Why should anybody that cares if it's about people, I'm not going to just say it's about all black. I'm not going to say it's about all white. It's about all of us. And those things that are offensive to some need to be removed. Point blank, period, no more discussion. Everybody has their, are starting to get recognized, almost everybody.
Yeah.
And given certain rights and things like that. So along with that inclusion, there should be some exclusion. And all of that racist stuff, take it down, man. Take it down.
Yeah, they need to take that stuff down. And, another interesting thing that happened earlier today, which I do not understand, is that apparently Duke University health systems will start restricting children from visiting patients in Duke hospitals and other Duke Health medical facilities, assigned that this flu season is about to peak, the organization said on Monday. Starting on Tuesday, so that's tomorrow, children ages 12 and under will not be allowed to visit Duke Health hospitals or wards without approval from nurses and doctors, or unless there are special circumstances allowing an exemption. In previous years, Duke had restricted the children under the age of 18, but now they're going down to, it looks like, about the age of 12. So area hospitals impose visitation restrictions on children each year when their patient data shows an increase in patients with flu-like symptoms. UNC Healthcare and WakeMed Health and Hospitals announced restrictions last week. So it says that the temporary restrictions will be lifted when flu activity starts falling. So, we are in the middle. Flu season runs from October through May, but typically peaks in January and February. So we're definitely in the peak of it. It says as of January 5th of this month, 16 people have died from flu-related causes here in the state of North Carolina. So it looks like they're definitely trying to make sure that we don't have any kind of outbreak and are trying to restrict folks and definitely our kids who can be very susceptible.
Yeah, I saw there was a thing on Good Morning America this morning, and they said children are like petri dishes. So the individual may have a cold, kids may have a cold, but then they touch the desk or they touch the chalk or, various things in the school, and then you have another child come behind them and touch it, and another child come behind and touch it, and then you got 4 children sick, just like that. So the hospital's probably like, you know what? Before you come in and transfer all those germs all around, and you got people sick anyway, you might want to take your child to the urgent care and get them what they need.
Yeah, that sounds like they're definitely what they're doing. So it looks like that's kind of the activity that they're doing, and seeing if this will curtail things or not curtail things. But hopefully it will. Now, changing the topic just a little bit to sports. I know you're a sports person. I am as well. Your Ravens did not do what they were supposed to do. My Vikings didn't even make the playoffs. But looks like those Patriots, once again, are going to be in the championship game. Hopefully they will not make it to the Super Bowl. I don't know if I can take another Patriots.
I want to see Kansas City dig into the Patriots and send them on, come on to the couch. The most overrated. I don't like Tom Brady. The rest of the team, they're fine, but there's something about dude. He just looks like that arrogant type dude. But either way, I don't want to see them win. I would rather see Andy Reid take the Kansas City Chiefs into the Super Bowl, and whether they play the Rams or the Saints, I believe the Saints will be going. And in that case, I'd like to see Drew Brees add on to his statistics as a quarterback. But I would rather see the Chiefs and the Saints in Super Bowl 53. I just don't have a face for them Patriots, man.
I'm with you on that. But for one thing, that would be a great Super Bowl in the sense of the two cities, because that would be almost like a jazz Super Bowl, because both Kansas City and New Orleans have rich music and rich jazz traditions. So, as a one that loves both my blues and my jazz, I think that would be like a jazz Super Bowl. And, of course, they both have rich food traditions as well. So I know that would be played up in the Super Bowl. So I, for one, not just for the game's sake, but also just what can happen for those cities, I would like to see what I'm going to call the jazz Super Bowl, New Orleans against Kansas City.
Yeah, and it's going to be February 2nd, February 3rd. February 3rd is Super Bowl Sunday, so all eyes will be on that to see who will be the Super Bowl champion for this year. The Philadelphia Eagles fell short the other night. Alshon Jeffrey's ball went through his hand, was intercepted at the end, which what New Orleans into this coming game for the division championship. However, Alshon Jeffrey played with cracked ribs, so yes. I gotta give it up to him, because you know what, that was a key player for Philadelphia that helped them to get to where they were. And to play a game with some cracked ribs, I know he had to be in some extreme pain. So for him, man, hold your head up high, because you did what 99% of the rest of the world would have never done. Cracked rib, I'll be at the house.
Oh, totally at the house. And what did you think of the spanking? Speaking of games, and this was last Monday, I believe it was on the same day that after our show and everything, that Clemson put on Alabama. Like I said, I was not expecting that. I was not really wanting Alabama to win. I was glad that Clemson won, but I was not expecting that kind of beatdown.
You know what? You got to be careful. Those are two great things. However, it was refreshing to see Clemson say, you know what? We're going to make the tide go down and we're going to show you how we're going to put the smack down on this water right here.